Hello, welcome to week 7. You're now entering the final stretch of this course. The first topic we'll be covering this week is visual rhetoric. This is the technique of using images and design to persuade or just generally to cause a reaction in your audience. We'll cover this topic in general and then focus more specifically on how to create a presentation, since that will be part of your final project along with the research essay itself. We'll give tips specifically on how to use PowerPoint to create your presentation. Also this week, we'll cover the second to last step in the writing process, editing, also known as proofreading. This is different than revising, the previous step, because in revising, you are looking more at the ideas that you want to express in your writing and seeing whether your writing communicates those ideas well. In other words, revision is a higher level process than editing. It looks at things like the overall goals of your paper, the flow of your paragraphs, the style of your sentences, and your word choice. Editing happens after all those things are largely decided and set in a draft, and you're going over your paper for the final few times to make sure that all the conventions are being followed. In other words, you're checking for proper grammar, punctuation, and spelling, and also that you formatted your paper correctly. There are several tools that can help with proofreading, which we'll be covering this week. Of course, these tools can't help with everything, though. There are some commonly confused words which they often miss. That means reviewing your paper by reading it aloud, or perhaps even better, having someone else take a look at it. In this week's Skill Builder section, we'll discuss some of the words that are most commonly confused so that you can be a better proofreader on your own. The first assignment this week is that Skill Builder quiz on commonly misused words. Then the second assignment is to submit a draft of your references list. The references list, also known as a bibliography, is a list of the sources that you use and cited in your paper. Follow the APA style in compiling this list, as we discussed in the previous week. If possible, use the tools described in the previous week, such as Zotero or Citation Machine, to generate the reference lists. That will be simpler and often more accurate than doing it manually would be. The third and final assignment this week is to submit a draft of your research paper to the Writing Workshop Forum. Remember, the research paper should be 10 pages, double-spaced, Times New Roman font, as it is stated in the CityVision paper formatting guidelines. When you submit the paper in the forum, you don't need to submit the reference list unless you would like. This submission is just so that your peers can offer a review of your paper, as you have it now. For the Writing Workshop review due this week, you should review the paper of at least one other student. In this case, we don't require that you do 2 reviews since you're looking at an entire 10-page paper. Review the paper according to the rubric for research papers and give your assessment of how it would score in each of the categories and offer suggestions in each of the categories of how the student could improve on the paper. We wish you the best of success in your assignments this week. Thanks.